WL777, and this is Character Piece. Today we'll be reviewing an anime by the name of Moonlight. It was originally released in 2007. There are 12 episodes in the first season. That's all I had available to me. This is a sci-fi anime. It's an anime that focuses around two very well experienced, accomplished mountain climbers. They get to the top of Mount Everest and decide that they've conquered all the mountains. The next conquer that they were going to have is space. And this is basically the story that revolves around those two mountain climbers, Lost Man and Goro. So this is their story about how those two head off in two different directions to accomplish the same goal. It was a very, very fascinating tale. I thought it was a very good story. It was very good world building, very good character development. The characters, even the side characters, are developed well enough to care about. This was really my kind of an anime. I was surprised I've never heard of it before. Like I said, it was in 2007. Back then I was just pumping through animes around. It's quite possible that it just wasn't adapted to dub when I don't do subbed. But yeah, that may be it. But this was definitely right up my alley. Character piece, really cared about it a lot. The story was very, very interesting. Everybody was really well fleshed out. That was very good. The story, it was definitely one of those ones that could have used maybe a little more action. Ultimately, I don't think it really affected the story that much. I think at some points it kind of dragged a little bit, but outside of that, it did flow pretty well. Just like a couple of moments where maybe it dragged a little bit too long. And other than that, they did a really good job of making scenes intense and without a whole lot of action going on. So I thought that was pretty impressive. I would say that the biggest knock on the anime itself is probably going to be the artwork. Even for 2007 standards, I think it had some flaws in it. It definitely is outdated, not a ton of detail in it sometimes. Some of the artwork worked very well, and I think, again, from the world building standpoint, I think they did a really good job of creating a very believable world. A lot of the space stuff really worked out well. Anyways, there was definitely parts in it that were great, but there were definitely some flatness in a lot of the characters themselves. Just outdated animation. So I think it kind of hurt it a little bit from that. But ultimately, it was not enough to really distract me from the storyline or from the characters. The artwork didn't take me out of it after a while. It just kind of blends in the background. And you're really just more interested in the character and the story and where they're going with it than you are anything else. So the voiceovers were actually pretty well done as well, especially for the time period. I think that they did a pretty good job voicing these characters and bringing them to life. The anime itself is definitely not one that is for kids. This is a very adult, very mature audience anime. There are many different nude scenes, sex scenes, so I would not let my kid watch this. This would be an 18 or older kind of thing. Definitely MA. Again, it played well in the story. It wasn't a distractor from it. I think that the story is about these very flawed human beings. I think they did a good job with that. But again, not always kid friendly. Very, very not kid friendly. Actually, pretty much always not kid friendly. Even the dialogue, the environments that are set up in. So yeah, this is an 18 or older thing. My favorite character is Lost Man. He is one of the two main characters and probably the one that gets the least amount of focus on him. He actually is a little bit different than my stereotypical kind of character, what I usually am kind of attracted to. This guy was a very flawed person, and he was cold a lot of times, had a kind of a cold demeanor about him. He was a very tough guy and had a really, really kind of harsh personality a little bit. Typically that's not probably something that attracts me about characters, but I think in this one it really played well, and I very much enjoyed the character of of Lost Man. I wish I would have seen him a little bit more, but as it was, I thought that they did a great job with his storyline. Again, I think that they do a good job with pretty much all the story. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and rank this at an 8.4. Again, I think if it would have had better animation, this one probably would have cracked into my top 9. At a 9 plus, but it does leave a little points because of, like I said before, the animation's a little outdated, and also it does tend to get a little slow at points, which takes away from it. But outside of that, I was very, very happy to watch this anime. It would be a recommendation for sure. I would definitely feel comfortable recommending this to somebody. So if you're looking for an anime to watch, especially and you're okay with watching some outdated stuff, this one's a really good story to watch. Watch out for. So as always, I will leave the link below. If you like it, subscribe, like and subscribe, and give me a shout out in the comments. Let me know if you think that there's a better character in there. Personally, I felt like there was a ton of them I could have choose from, so I would understand you arguing with that. But anyways, discuss below.